think this is episode 5. Yeah, episode 5. My guest today, Jeremy, drinking his Big B coffee.
Oh yeah, gotta have some coffee, man.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big coffee fan. I've never really liked it.
Drinking that shit since I was 8, so
Yeah.
it's like breathing almost.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Can never get into it. Never liked the taste of it.
Like, can't drink it black
Mm-hmm.
because it gives me heartburn. Although I've attempted it many a time,
Mm-hmm.
didn't really. Just punishment, no. Take a little bit of vanilla.
Yeah, I imagine there's sometimes when you just don't have like any cream or sugar or anything with you, and you're just like, well, I guess I got to do this.
Yeah, just throw a little bit of milk. That's fine. It's good.
You're like, fuck it, I'll take it. I had to pull that all nighter in Elder Scrolls. You laugh, but you're like, yeah, I've had to do that.
Stay up till 6 in the morning and wake up at 10 o'clock because that's just my internal alarm going off.
Yeah. You ever play something like that, and it's like 7, 8 o'clock at night? You're like, all right, I'm just gonna play for a few hours. Next thing you know, it's like 5 in the morning. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Oh, man. What time is it? Oh, shit. I need to fucking go to bed.
I've done that before with when I was still playing World of Warcraft with friends. And we're like, all right, it's Sunday night. We're just going to do one raid. Just do a few dungeons or something. Next thing you know, we're like, oh, we got to go to school.
Oh, man.
It's like 6 o'clock. I got to start going. Got to get out of here.
I would stay up back when I was in high school till like 3 in the morning when I had to be up at like 6 o'clock because I had to catch the bus. The city bus at that.
Mm-hmm.
To make it to school on time, and I would just sleep in class. Occasionally wake up to the correct teacher.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're doing that backwards.
No,
What?
Ben Franklin wasn't a president. No, it wasn't George Jefferson. He was on TV.
One thing is, I'm a little surprised I didn't like wake up to say something stupid like something irrelevant to the whole conversation going on. I would always wake up, and if I said anything, it'd be like, "Oh, you're right."
Well, that's good. He probably thought you were trolling him after a while.
Oh, he fucking hated me.
That's great.
Wouldn't even come to school half the time. And when I did come to school, I would sleep in class.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wasn't asleep in class, I'd either be correcting him or acing my tests.
Mm-hmm.
He never seemed like he never said that he hated me, but like I'm pretty sure
You
he
knew
was
it.
like that little bastard.
You could feel the hate radiating off of him. It's great.
But he was one of those teachers that are easy to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know how many times be sitting in class and like he was a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
So someone would like try to bring up a subject of him
Mm-hmm.
telling his stories from working at a fucking gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, this one time I was like sitting there at the gas station and this guy comes up with a damp towel and buys like $2 in gas and just soaks his towel and puts it on his head and fucking wears it. Like, what? And then he said there's these 2 drunk chicks that came in to use the bathroom, and one was a heavier set chick,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was using the toilet, and the other one like she had to piss, so she ended up sitting on the sink, taking a piss in the sink, and she broke the fucking sink. And then they sued the gas station, and like when they got it all fixed, he went in there to check it out, and then like reinforced the fucking sink and shit. And he was like, "Yeah, I got up on that bitch and started jumping around. It did not budge."
That's terrible. No, that's some Walmart stuff right there. I didn't know you had to have a steel sink. Porcelain's not strong enough.
He didn't go into detail of like
So
what it was made out of, but like I'm just picturing like this guy's a big guy, like 250 pounds.
mm-hmm.
I'm just picturing like your normal sink with like fucking metal steel poles coming out of it into the ground, and him just like jumping on the fucking thing like. Just see like a cartoon character of him just like
Like Yosemite Sam when he jump on his hat.
yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
That guy was a riot though.
Sounds like it, man. People are just ridiculous in public. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, like a lot of the students would like they knew that they could get him to start doing his story times. So to get out of doing any work during class, they would just try to bring up a subject. They would bring him into one of his stupors, and then like it got to the point where he like picked up on it, and he was like, "I'm not doing any more story times, no more."
We had a teacher who was from France. She had a thick accent, and kids would get her to sing French songs because she was really gullible, really naive. I don't know if she'd been a teacher for very long or what it was, but they would get her to sing like Frere Jacques and all that. Like, how to sing a song, and she would do it for like an hour, teach everybody it, and they're like, "Oh, well," because she was a substitute. That's what it was.
That's kind of how he was. Then we had one. He was like the designated substitute,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody liked him because he was just like that cool guy that just like
Yep.
sat up at the front of the classroom, and then like he made sure you weren't being stupid, but like he didn't really give a shit if you were doing your work or not. He would just be like, "Yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. Do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to pretty much watch you guys." Like, not in those words, but
Pretty much. You know what
Pretty
he
much.
meant. Yeah. I had a guy was a sub like that, and I was his teacher's assistant during his planning hour, so I didn't do a thing. And our schedule rotated, so if I had that class at the very beginning of the day, this was my first one, he's like, "I don't care if you come in late. Like, do whatever you want. You can walk around. If you can stop by McDonald's before you come in, just get me something." Yeah. He ended up getting fired because he didn't actually have a teaching degree.
oh shit.
And the principal was like, "All right, just, as you're going to school, I'll let you be a teacher." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he just stopped going. Then he got fired. And he was like early 30s. And I think he was messing around with some of the female students. I think that's also one of the reasons he got canned.
We had one of the teachers. He was like social studies, civics type guy. He was a pretty cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Young, like I think he was only like when I graduated. I think he was only like 32.
Mm-hmm.
But he had actually graduated from that same school, and if I remember correctly, there was like at one point there were some girls that were trying to get him in trouble. Like no.
He's not doing anything. Leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone. He's like when I first started there, he was like the real cool teacher, lumberjack, long hair, beard, and then like the last 2 years, he ended up shaving, cut his hair,
Mm-hmm.
clean cut everything, no freaking flannel. Like, come on, man, what'd you do? What'd you do?
Probably
like,
had a superintendent come in and say something.
He had said, I mean, I assume it was completely different, like not the actual reason, but he'd be like, yeah, I had some grays in my beard, so I just shaved it off. What?
I mean, some people are self-conscious about that, but it was somebody probably said something to him from higher up. It's like, yeah, you need to shave that.
Shave that. That's unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that, but whatever.
I mean, as long as it's not like scraggly, wild man looking, and you
Yeah.
keep it clean, and you're fine. Yeah. Oh, high school. Yeah, I spent a lot of time World of Warcraft, playing games, playing Halo. That was like the thing.
Oh man,
Halo 2, that was the big one for us. We played a little bit of Halo 3, but just wasn't the same.
I was all about 3 though.
Yeah. I think Halo 2 is where we really all started. Like, we'd bring our Xboxes all over to one person's house.
Yeah, but like as far as like the matchmaking,
Mm-hmm.
like Xbox Live play,
Oh, yeah, it was much better.
it was much better on 3, and then like after 3, it just went to shit. But
Mm-hmm.
completely, I was a freaking monster in that game.
One time
Right.
we did a free-for-all match. It was like 6 of us, I think. And my buddy Joe was driving around the Warthog. And of course, you're by yourself, so you can't shoot the cannon. And he pulls up to one of the other guys playing. He's like, Nugget, jump in back. And he got in the Gauss because he had one of the Gauss ones. He was just taking people out. We're like, what kind of bullshit is free-for-all? You're not supposed to team up.
Yeah, have one of my friends come over, do a split screen, and hop on
Yeah.
matchmaking, and I was a vindictive player,
Mhm.
so like you get thrown in a matchmaking room, and you got a bunch of people just like shit talking and everything. Like, I would focus on that one person that was like standing out from the crowd that was like doing the most shit talking, and I would just be like, okay,
Going after him.
you're going down, buddy. And like, it wasn't just like I would go and I would kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I would fuck with him. Like, I'd find him, walk up behind him, like, because like in Halo 3, like, to queue up your mic, you had to push down on the D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't push down on the D-pad and you were talking, people that were in your vicinity could hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah, I remember that.
I would get up next to him, be like, hey buddy, I'm right behind you, right behind. And like, he would go to turn, and I would turn with him, and he would be all confused, like, am I hearing shit? And I'd do it like 3 or 4 times, and then like the 4th time I wouldn't like turn with him, and we'd turn around and I'd just punch him dead. Like, yeah, got you, bitch. Like,
You essentially did the Halo equivalent to the tap on somebody's shoulder and run around the other side.
exactly.
That's great. Yeah, I remember that. You could hear it sometimes. Certain like Call of Duties, you could hear people on the replay. I remember that, and a lot of people would right when they knew they were gonna kill you, they start shit talking because you could hear a little bit of that replay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was so fun.
I honestly think they should have kept the whole like, in the vicinity type deal. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
makes it a little more immersive.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I gotta stop fucking talking now.
yeah,
Right next to someone.
because then they can hear you, and they're like, oh, where they at? Yeah, that's something I'm kind of surprised they got rid of. I haven't played past 3. I played ODST a little bit.
I played all of them. Except Reach. I didn't get to play Reach. I mean, I played it. I played a little bit of it,
Mm-hmm.
but like I've never played all the way through it.
Was that the RTS game, kind of like StarCraft, and the Halo one?
No.
Which one was that?
That was should I forget the name of that one?
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called either.
I don't remember. Halo Wars.
Yeah, that's
Halo
there
Wars.
you go. Halo Wars.
But
I don't think that did too well.
Reach was the one with, it's like I forget their names, but like there's 4 of them, 4 or 5 of them. Actually.
Was it other Spartans?
They end up being Spartans. They're actually in the 5th one too.
Okay. It was like their way to becoming full-fledged Spartans then, or?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. They got a lot of lore behind that, but they don't explain it in the book in the video games. I think a lot of that's relegated to book stuff.
Mm-hmm. I haven't actually I think I read a little bit of one, but like I haven't actually read
Through the stories.
through the stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the movies.
Mm-hmm. The one on Netflix. I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah. Shit.
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I kind of get that and that Starship Trooper movie mixed up because they're like similar animation, I think. Like
Mhm.
kind of CGI kind of thing.
I want to say there's two Halo movies on there.
They probably made a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Red vs. Blue.
True.
Oh, it's still going, I think. I don't know if
Might
the
be.
main,
I don't know.
I don't know if the original people are still doing it, but I know they like have it on DVD and stuff. It's not just a janky little internet show anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we got you in the right spot. You got the Batman shirt with the Batman the poster behind you.
Yeah.
That worked out pretty well. Although, hey, I got
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
I got the Pikachu hoodie on with the Kanto battle behind me. This worked out perfect.
It was just meant to be.
I guess so. Yeah, this place looks so much better with some actual decoration. I just got to fill out the rest of that spot where the Predator's at. And then having the new Batgirl there is nice. Kind of rounds that out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it centered like that.
The Piccolo? Or the... Oh, no.
Over the.
I was thinking the banner. Yeah, the Justice League banner thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably get more Justice League pops. Put them there instead of just having all Batman stuff. Yeah, but we got Kim's pops are up in the up right corner, kind of just a placeholder for right now. Little bombshell DC women. And the Overwatch pops up in the upper left corner. Yeah.
It's gonna fill all 6 of the cubbies there. Or?
Oh yeah. I'll start going to more cons and buying stuff. I think the right side, I'm gonna have. I think that'll be like the anime side, because I got the Dragon Ball Z stuff, and the one
Mhm.
I'll try to pick up other stuff. Just don't have a whole lot right now to fill in everything. And then this side will just be the whatever side. And then the middle will be kind of DC stuff. I might hang that those two little. I don't know if camera can see it, but the Star Wars and the Batman thing somewhere. I don't know where. Probably maybe in between one of these or something like that. Or I might just leave them there because they look kind of cool there, I think, right next to the fireplace.
Mhm.
I'd like to get something like some stuff for the table too.
I'd like to go to con again.
Oh,
'Cause I haven't gone to the con since I went with you guys.
Yeah, that was we went to the Novi one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Cuz before that we went to the Indiana one, but I can't remember which one we went to last.
I think I was only at that one.
Cuz I could have swore you went to I thought you went to 2 of them with us.
I know Sarah did.
Yeah, Sarah's gone a few times.
I only went to the one that almost freaking won that Mandalorian helmet.
That'd have been sweet.
Fucking one ticket off. What the fuck?
I know. Well, you never know this time, because they're at like every con around here. Their chapter, their Mandalorian chapter. So was it I think it was, Jonathan was telling me when he was dressed as the Emperor, they had two of the Mandalorians from their like group chapter there, like follow him around as an escort. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, that's badass.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that guy in a while.
Yeah, no, well, he lives in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
It's kind of far away. Everybody I used to know is kind of, we're all spread out. And we have jobs and stuff, so it's hard to see everybody. Definitely this year for Novi, one of Kim's friends is going to come with us, Katie. She lives out here. She wants to go as 7 of 9 from Star Trek. So
Okay.
she wants to dress up for that. She's never been to a con too, so she's like, oh, she's super excited about it, so we're going to do that. And I was thinking, maybe we can get some Star Trek outfits, and I'll use the 3D printer and make some like phasers or something.
Oh yeah.
Little accessories.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah, it comes in so handy for that kind of stuff.
I do wanna do a cosplay, but I'm not sure what I would do.
It's hard to decide. It really is. And then you have to have the extra time to put the effort into making it. If you have to make it.
That's the biggest part. Like originally I wanted to make my own little character or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like a Star Wars character. But again, you got to make that shit. I don't even know where to begin on those. So
I guess you'd have to kind of draw up your own design of what you want. Maybe like if you took your like SWTOR character or something, or your Galaxy, maybe just trying to model them and then maybe piece together stuff from other things.
yeah,
Other costumes, buy it here and there, or try to make it out of foam or something like that. I don't know.
yep. Maybe if I ever acquire a 3D printer, I'll just 3D print some armor up.
Yeah, you could. There's a pattern for armor for cats, so yeah, that's a thing.
Just do a AT-AT one for my dog.
That'd be awesome. I'm glad you say it AT-AT instead of at.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone says at, I'm like, no, can't be friends. I don't care.
Can't be friends.
Nope, friendship over.
It just doesn't sound right.
At, no, it doesn't.
It's like you're, I don't know, just think of some fucking insect or
Mm-hmm.
rodent.
Like with the ATST, you wouldn't call it atst, would you?
No, of course not.
ATST.
Or the ATRT or
Yeah.
little fucking clone trooper deal.
The ones that have the short legs. Those ones that were kind of like proto AT-ATs.
It was like pretty much like ATST without the over cover. It's just the one pilot deal, you know?
Yeah. Because they had a bunch of stuff that, like in the Clone Wars, the series, they had the ones that were smaller with like turtle looking with the smaller legs
Oh yeah.
and all that. They had a bunch of stuff.
Forget what those are called.
And you're like, oh, I can see the inspiration for what it'll become later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. You're like, man, why does everything look so much better in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the new Star Trek movies, everything's like holographic and touchscreen and stuff, and you're like, this is set in the Kirk era. They didn't have that. They had dials and knobs and probably vacuum tubes for stuff. Like, this doesn't make sense.
I always thought, I was like, I watched. Like, wasn't too much into Star Trek, but like I still watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but like wasn't like into it. But
Mm-hmm.
always thought that like after a while they kind of like changed things up and everything. I'm like, just keep it a little more uniform, make it like so it's not like okay, we're this is 1980s. We're looking at screens that are from 1980s,
Mm-hmm.
and then a couple years later they are like 10, 20 years like with the newer Star Trek to make it look more
Modern.
modern.
Yeah.
Like, which is cool, but like it throws it off a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I haven't watched the new like Discovery yet or Picard.
Picard. I've actually like thinking about watching that.
Mm-hmm. I love Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I haven't seen that or Discovery. I don't know where in the timeline Discovery is. Somebody said it's around the time the original one is, Captain Kirk's era. And they had one that was Star Trek Enterprise, which was a prequel to Kirk. It was like 100 or so years before. Where they had phase pistols instead of phasers, and they didn't have shields. They didn't have a tractor beam. It was like a grappling hook that would literally fly out and grab onto something. I was like, yeah, this is crazy.
Oh, grappling hook.
Yeah. It looked like a claw machine thing that came out. Just hook on to stuff. The transporters only did they couldn't do live matter because it would like disrupt it because they hadn't got that far with it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah, I like Star Trek actually better than Star Wars, just because you have more time to go through characters and development and do stuff like that. You can develop them more and just, I don't know, it's better story. But I mean, they're two different things, movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with the Mandalorian and all that coming out, they're probably going to start paving the way for more like Star Wars based TV shows.
I was kind of skeptic about the whole it becoming a TV series. I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like it works for non-Jedi characters, for like non-big stuff, like little side people, like Mando,
Mm-hmm.
people who are just regular people, or maybe do like a stormtrooper spin. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like in the Clone Wars, where they had do you watch the TV show Clone Wars?
I watched some of it.
They had a bunch of episodes dedicated just to clone troopers, like one specific troop.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed them going from the academy all the way up to the very end. And some of them die off, and they become better friends and all that. I think that'd be a cool series.
Watched most of the Rebels one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too bad.
I haven't seen Rebels.
But
I heard it's really good, though.
I think Clone Wars would be better.
Mm-hmm.
I got this other one. It's weird.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. Resistance Fighters or some shit like that. It's right around the same time the newer ones.
Oh, okay.
It's got like Poe in it and
Well, that makes sense. Them setting up the
BB-8.
movies, maybe.
watch one episode of it and I'm just like, no, I'm good. Like, if I were to watch it, it would be solely to figure out what happens in the storyline. That'd be it. Like,
Mm-hmm. I'll just take the Cliff Notes.
exactly.
Yeah, the Star Wars is really it's they're just Disney's doubling down. They're like, let's just make content. Let's get that shit out there, man.
I think we need make it a little more consistent with how they're making their movies, because
Yeah.
those newer ones just
Terrible.
like you start off one, you're like, what is this? And then the second one, and you're like, oh, that just like completely like said fuck you to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, they're like, oh, we gotta patch it up, and even then it just
Mm-hmm. They swapped directors, and I think they had an original idea for the series, and then they just scrapped it, and then they just did it on the fly.
yeah, that's
And then-
literally
yeah.
what it looked like happened. Like, okay, we're gonna do this. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do that. But we already shot that first movie. Well,
We'll figure it out.
swing it.
Yep.
And then for the last movie, we were really in a big ass pickle here. Shit, let's bring in George. Maybe we can figure something else out, like bringing fucking Jar Jar Binks back into this. I don't know.
That'd been if he would have been the Sith Lord, just behind everything. I'm like, these movies get a pass.
My biggest thing about how they brought Palpatine back into the fold is like, okay, they had this prophecy
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, Anakin was the chosen one. He was supposed to bring balance to the Force. Well, he did by doing, you know, killing a bunch of younglings. But like, it was also to you know, he threw fucking Palpatine down a fucking ventilation shaft and supposedly killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what the thought of it was, but oh shit, Palpatine's back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no balance to the Force. No.
Actually, yeah, there kind of was, because after he died, then it was just Luke and Palpatine. You don't know that, but then there was one dark and one light.
Yeah.
Until later on when Kylo, or he starts his own Jedi Order, and then Kylo wrecks everybody, and then they had to bring in Rey, kind of.
Yeah,
And now it's just Rey.
supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, there's always more Force users. They're born every day. If they have midichlorians. That was the dumbest thing. I really wish they didn't do that. Like, just take your blood sample, see if you have superpowers. Got the X gene. Some shit like that. That's so stupid. At least we got pod racing and Darth Maul and Duel of the Fates. I love that shit. I wish they would have. I really wish they would have let Darth Maul live, and then maybe him die in the second movie. And then
He ends up dying in Rebels.
yeah, he fights Obi-Wan again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's about time, but
And Obi-Wan just kind of like ends it like so quickly.
just pimp smacks him.
Essentially, yes.
He's in Clone Wars, and he has a big part in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he takes over Mandalore, and
Yeah.
his brother's in it too.
Savage Press, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I've seen like those parts and whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love that I love the TV aspect of it, because you can focus on characters more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like movies are kind of dying off. People want more story, I think.
True. That's why, I think that's why like they keep getting longer and longer and longer and longer.
Yeah, try to cram more in.
And end up with movies that are freaking 4 hours long.
Yeah. Like I haven't watched it, but I know The Irishman was like super popular, but it's like 3 hours and 50 minutes almost. Because I think they originally wanted to do make it into a mini series. I think that was kind of the original idea, but then they just stuck it all together and made a movie. Because people have it mapped out where you can stop it and chunk it up. They actually have a lot of comedians in that too. Ray Romano's in it. Jim Norton, Sebastian Maniscalco.
I think I've seen that.
I haven't watched. I'm not big on like gangster movies.
Huh.
It's about Jimmy Hoffa and all that. I think it's when he gets killed. Not 100% sure on it though.
Yeah, like the closest thing to gang movies I've come to is probably Gangs in New York, but
Yeah. Yeah, they don't make or mafia movies. They try to make one every once in a while, it seems like.
yeah.
And there's always a heist movie every once in a while too.
So, Ocean's whatever that came out.
Ocean's
That's
8.
one.
The all-female one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just need to stop just rebooting stuff and recycling stuff and just make something new.
Yeah, or like add on to it, you know. Not
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just gonna take the fucking rag and wipe it clean and say, fuck that all shit. Make our own little story of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently, Sandra Bullock's character is supposed to be Clooney's like sister or something. So that they kind of tie it in that way, but still, it's still super unoriginal, and that's
Yeah.
why it didn't do too well. Same thing with the Ghostbusters. Is just they're trying to coast off the fame of something else to make more money and try to make something quote unquote new.
They heard they're bringing the original guys back. Well, aside from
Yeah,
what's his name?
he died. Yeah, like I always forget his name, and I don't know why. Every time I try to think, it was Egon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's Paul Rudd is gonna be in it, and it's gonna be like that guy's kids or something, and then his grandson. They finally, he found his old Ghostbuster pack, and Ecto-1 and all that.
Kids getting into shit.
Pretty much, yeah. Just happens to find it, and then they go on probably in a goofy adventure. I love Paul Rudd as an actor. I just hate that they're dragging stuff out again.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you have the original cast, I don't really want to watch it.
Like, kind of like, if they were to do that, they like need to kind of ease their way, like ease them in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take the original cast and like bring in what they're gonna, like bring in people that they're gonna make new casts and just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
which would make the whole TV aspect of things be a lot better too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's harder to get big name actors like that into TV shows though,
Mm-hmm.
because they'd have to do like a season or two with them in them, and then slowly phase them out or kill them off or do whatever. But it's hard because they'd have to pay them a lot. 'Cause Bill Murray's not cheap, neither is Dan Aykroyd
Right.
or any of that. So, whatever. Unless they did a movie and then transition into a TV show. That never, like they did that with Tremors. Like Tremors 3
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be a jumping off point into the Tremors TV show. And then it was like a season and then it failed. But yeah, they got like 6 of those movies now.
I think like as far as like TV shows go, if they're like airing on like actual TV, like
Mm-hmm.
cable, whatever, like I feel like they're less likely to be watched
Yeah,
rather than if they're
streaming.
on a streaming thing.
Yeah, because younger people like our age and below, and even a little bit above, we just stream stuff. We don't have time to sit
Mhm.
down and watch something on network TV. It's like, just pop in something, put on something after work and then chill.
That and like if you're subscribing to a streaming site or whatever, you're not getting commercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying ahead of time, so you don't have to actually. They don't have to have advertisement.
Unless you're like on one of the streaming ones that have like free,
Mm-hmm.
but you got commercials.
Like Crunchyroll or something. Yeah.
But Crunchyroll's ridiculous. It's like
Every 10 minutes.
you might as well just pay for it.
Perfect. Yeah, I that's why I started paying for Crunchyroll. Because I tried doing the free thing, and I'm like, yeah, this takes forever.
And it's like the same commercial like 7-8 times in a row.
Yeah.
Every
It's a little
10
ridiculous.
minutes.
Or 2-3 minutes feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate it. That's why I was like, I'll just pay for it. It's not that
It's
big
like
a deal.
$5. So
Yeah.
fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
I've actually been meaning to like resubscribe to that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I canceled it at one point. I was like, you know what? Don't need it right now, so just
Yeah, if you're not using it, then don't bother with it. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to catch up on Naruto because I was watching that when it was coming here, and I got up to like episode like 250 or something. Hey, Fred. And then I went on to a different shift at work, and then I stopped watching it. And there's like 500 episodes of the second series.
you watch Black Clover?
Mm-hmm.
If you like Naruto, I'm sure you like Black Clover.
All right, because there's lots of stuff I've been out of the loop for a long time. I've just been wanting to kind of get back into stuff,
Mm-hmm.
get back in the anime scene a little bit. Because I used to be more into it in high school. I used to go to the how about U of M? One of my friends was going to Mott, and then they have ties together,
Mm-hmm.
and they did anime screenings there on. It was like once or twice a month. Come on, Fred, come on. And I would see a bunch of animes I'd never seen. That was before the internet was real big with it,
Mm-hmm.
So we just watch random movies. That's where I saw the Full Metal Alchemist, the animated movie, and it was like poorly subtitled.
Oh man.
It was like just some bootleg internet version of it.
I heard the live action one was pretty garbage.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do stuff like that live action.
I did one for Bleach, and that one was
Not good.
like it didn't stick with the storyline enough to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you had never watched the series and then watch it, you might like it,
Mm-hmm.
but again, might.
Mm-hmm. It was like well made though, or not, maybe not. It was yeah, well made.
It was decent.
Yeah. Like I watched Devilman, the movie, with a friend of mine a long time ago, and he's like, yeah, this is like the entire series crammed into one movie. I thought it was pretty good. It was well made. It was like a B-rate kind of movie, but it wasn't too cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, this kind of sums and crams everything into one movie.
It's like when they ended up making I think they actually made 2 movies for Blood Rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
That was B-rated as fuck. Like,
The first one I remember was better though.
mm-hmm.
Had bigger budget.
And
it's like terrible.
right down the shitter.
Did you watch 30 Days of Night?
I believe I have.
The vampires. There's a
Mhm.
part 2 to that.
Oh.
And it's B-rate and it's terrible. They try to make it like Blade-esque, where they're like, there's a secret society of vampires running the world. And this girl's like, one of the chicks from the movie, the first movie, because she tries to bring her husband who, remember how he like got bit and he sacrificed himself. He's like, oh, when you turn at first you have all the super strength and all that, but you keep your sanity for a little bit, and he used that to kind of save him, sacrifice himself. Well, she finds his body and like puts blood on him and brings him back to life. And then she gets bit because he just tears into her. And then there's like this whole thing about people hunting vampires. And I'm like, this turned into Blade real quick. And it was terrible.
That's something. So Blade is technically Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. It's been a comic since the 70s.
Question is it gonna tie into the current Marvel universe?
I think so, because I think a lot of people were saying he's gonna either be mentioned or have a bit role in Morbius. I don't know how they're gonna do that, since it's owned by Sony, unless they have some kind of deal. Because Morbius is a living vampire, so that makes sense.
Another deal, just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, they don't have any. They can't. That's the only character they don't have anymore, and some of his properties, like Venom and stuff. Anything revolving around Spider-Man. It's kind of like with the X-Men. Like Fox owned them, and they could use certain characters like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver because they're Magneto's kids.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't use Magneto, so that's why they had to make them, they had to have them given powers by the Infinity Stones.
Oh, yeah. What's funny is, like, if they end up tying the X-Men, Blade, and the Avengers all into one.
It'd be one massive movie.
So Deadpool and what's his name in Blade 3? Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Playing two characters.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, well, they're going to have a different Blade now. It's not going to be Wesley Snipes.
Fuck.
Yeah. They have, did you watch Luke Cage?
No.
No? He was a guy who played, I cannot think, it was Ali something.
I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, but he was one of the main bad guys in Luke Cage, and he's a good actor. He's really good. He might have to bulk up a bit to look like Blade, like Wesley was, but because he's kind of a more lean looking guy. But I think he'll do a great job. But it'd be kind of cool. I always thought if they did a multiverse thing, it'd be kind of cool if they, like in a Doctor Strange movie or something, and they show a little bit of the multiverse, and you see like clips from different movies, like the Blade or the Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man. Like all the other movies, maybe the Fantastic Fours.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. There was a 90s Fantastic Four movie? Yeah. It never made the light of day. You can see little bits of it online, but it looks fucking terrible. It looks like a really terrible made-for-TV movie.
Oh, jeez.
It's on par with the old, like Lou Ferrigno Hulk.
Oh,
It's like that quality, but in the 90s and not the. Yeah. Yeah, it looked terrible. It looked really bad. But they were trying. They're like, oh, let's try to make some money. It was crazy to think Marvel almost went bankrupt.
Yeah.
And they sold their stuff, and now all of a sudden they're on top of the world, and Sony just does not want to give Spider-Man back. It seems like they should make some kind of deal with him and say, just give us him back for the movies, and you guys can keep making the video games.
Yeah. Because, like, the first three that they came out with, Tobey Maguire,
Yeah, no.
No. No. Andrew Garfield was all right, but
He looked more the part. I feel like he played more of the part of Spider-Man better, but he wasn't a good Peter Parker.
mm-hmm.
It's so funny, and like, I think it was Spider-Man 2, when he's like half dead on the train, and they take his mask off, or his mask comes off, and he's lying there, and one of the guys is like, he's just a teenager. He's no older than my kid, but he's like 30 something. Spider-Man. Like, what?
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a 40, 50-year-old Spider-Man. Like, I'm just a teenager. That would be the great, like, that should be Into the Spider-Verse movie right there. What's funny about the Tom Holland one in was it Homecoming? Yeah, it was Homecoming. That he webs up Donald Glover, the guy in the parking lot. That he was like running guns or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Donald Glover was the inspiration for the Miles Morales Spider-Man. And they modeled it after him after he wore like a Spider-Man outfit on like a SNL or something like that. Some TV show he was on. I don't know if it's SNL, but yeah, he's like the look and inspiration. And in that movie, he was playing their universe's version of Miles Morales. Of course, he doesn't have powers, but he was just, their world's version of him. So I thought that was kind of cool. They did that for him. Because that's what they originally wanted him to be. One of the Spider-Mans before, I think like an Amazing Spider-Man. I think they originally were going to do it with him as Miles Morales and just go in a different direction.
I would like to see like more of that Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. They're doing it with the Spider-Verse, the animated movies at least.
Mm.
And they're just so much easier to do
Mm-hmm.
and get stuff more accurate. Because you can just do whatever you want. You can just draw on a cartoon.
Right.
And I love that movie. It was so good. It felt like a real comic book movie.
Just the way it's art and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it had little comic book cuts here and there. And you can feel the tone shift just in the art style and what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I love it. It's a lot of stuff I need to get. I need to get Kim caught up on. I was trying to get her caught up on a lot of anime. Dragon Ball Z, we got up the Frieza saga. Trying to get her to watch FLCL and Outlaw Star. I love those. Got to catch her up on all the, just everything. There's so much. It's ridiculous to watch. And then all the new stuff that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marvel has 3 new TV shows on Disney Plus coming out. The Loki show, Winter Soldier and Falcon, or Falcon and Winter, whatever it is, and then WandaVision.
They're gonna have like the actual.
Yeah, the actors.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, they got big money, so they can do that. See, I'm wondering with WandaVision, because there's a comic line called House of M, where Scarlet Witch, she had a kid. She had she had kids, and then they end up dying or something, but they wipe it from her memory, and then she slowly starts to remember it, and then she loses her mind and her powers go wild, and she creates a pocket reality, and she drags a bunch of people in, and they all get they get the life that they want in an alternate reality, whatever they want, and they live a perfect life. And Wolverine's one of his things was to have his memory back, because he lost it even in the comics, and then he remembers everything, and he goes on, and then he goes around unlocking people with help of somebody else. I think it was one of the psychic people, Emma Frost, I think. But yeah, it's her making up reality as she wants and trying to live in this self-contained, where she has her kids and Vision's still alive, because in the previous comic, Avengers disassemble, a lot of Avengers start dying off. And then they use that kind of as like a soft reboot. So I'm wondering if they're going to have her like lose her mind and create her own realities with her powers. Because that's kind of what it looks like. You see little bits of her with Vision still alive, and she looks like a 50s housewife, and then it's bops through time. So I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of decades of years of, of material to work with, so there's so much. Like, if you read through a lot of the comics, even watching the Marvel movies, there's little hints of stuff throughout everything. Like, in Thor Ragnarok, there's a character called Beta Ray Bill, and he's the first person who lifted Thor's hammer, other than Thor in the comics. And he's got this weird, like, he's like kind of golden. He has this horse-shaped head. He's an alien. And he beats Thor, and he lifts his hammer. Then Odin's like, hey, here's your own hammer. And that was Stormbreaker. And that, he just gives him a hammer. But you see his, on the planet Sakaar, with that big building with the faces on it, his is one of the faces. Because in the comic, he's on that planet and not Thor fighting a World War Hulk in the Gladiator arena. Because he has one of those restraining bolt basically things on it. Like, they keep him as a gladiator and he can't leave. But they also had like Silver Surfer on there too, and they can't use him because at the time he was part of Fox.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool. They threw that storyline in there.
And now Disney owns everything.
Pretty much.
Almost.
They will eventually.
Monopoly, I mean, what? What?
That'd be funny if they own the game Monopoly. They just buy it out. Buy out Mattel or whatever who owns it.
Hasbro.
Hasbro, there you go. Oh, shit, I don't really think they even need to. They're fucking banking money.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. The Marvel, the Star Wars, everything. Like, even with Last Jedi, or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, I don't think it broke $1 billion, but they're still making with all the merchandise and what is that? Galaxy's Edge. Have you seen any of that? It's the theme park at Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan and all them were talking about it, looking it up, and it looks fucking amazing. It's like super interactive. They have actors and stuff as stormtroopers and like stuff on the walls that'll like pop off and when it's getting shot at, and you're like, oh, feels like you're there.
Yeah, I feel like if I were to ever go there, I'd be a little too fucking busy. Too much crowds,
Oh yeah, you'd have to go. You'd have to get like the early access or something. It's probably packed. I know they do have a build your own lightsaber there.
I think that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's like $200 and you have to pay it up front.
They got the droid deal.
Like build a droid.
Make like a little BB-8 or whatever.
That's sweet. When I was a kid, I had a bunch of the Star Wars figurines, and I had a Millennium Falcon that would clamshell and had little spots around the entire thing you put people in.
I had Stormtrooper head and a Chewbacca head. I actually still have those.
They like hold stuff in them, or
Like little figurines like that big.
Yeah. I was just thinking that because I didn't have R2D2, but I had R5D4. The one that it blew up at the very beginning, and he would pop open. He had a little spring-loaded missile launcher in him.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, I'll just pretend he's R2.
Yeah, the Stormtrooper one had like a section off like scenes from the movie, and like at the bottom it would have the garbage pit.
Yeah.
With a Diagana or whatever the hell it
Yeah,
was
I
called.
can't think of what it's called.
But it'll like pop up like that. You can have it like look around and whatnot. It's like it was so small, but yeah, that would be on the bottom, and then the level up is like where they like jump down into the garbage chute,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think like above that was like I don't remember. I think it was like where Darth Vader and Luke fought or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd lost a lot of the figurines, but you know, I still have the head pieces. You know,
Yeah, I don't know where any of mine are. They're probably long gone. Thrown out over time. Playing with those little kids, you wreck them.
mm-hmm.
I always ended up losing the blasters and the little lightsabers that came with them.
Yeah,
They were like $3 or $4 for a figure. They weren't like super expensive. They were just like, like that big. I just had a ton of them. It was fun. I had the X-wing with Luke pilot, and I had something else. I think I had a Y-wing or something like that. Play with those. But I never had any of the cool landscapes. I did have a Wayne Manor Batman thing. It was like it looked like his house on the outside. You open it up, and half of it was like the house and then stuff, and then the other half was like the Bat Cave, and he had a little computer screen and a chair you put your Batman in. It was pretty sweet. Stuff that would pop out.
Oh man, I had a Batmobile that was like that big.
That's sweet.
Like I have like a little flap. We're gonna put Batman in there, and then like the back of it pulled out into the Bat Jet.
That's sweet. Actually, I had the Bat plane. It was around the one of the movies that came out, one of the Schumacher movies. I remember something came out the back, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it was pretty sweet.
It was like the Batmobile from the animated series.
The best one.
Yeah.
You ever watch Batman Beyond?
Yes.
His Bruce Wayne's personal car is the Batmobile from the animated series, flipped upside down. Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that.
Just Google it, and you're like, oh man, it is, because they just basically made it a hover car, but flipped it upside down, had the same design. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
I haven't actually watched that one in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like pick it up at Walmart, the entire series. It was really good, but it never picked up steam like it should have. I don't know why. But I know they've been trying to make a movie. Like fans have been like, make a movie. Michael Keaton, Old Man Batman.
Yeah. It'd be perfect.
It would be. It'd be
Perfect.
great. And just have him out. Just find Terry and then give him, do the whole steal the bat suit and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just going from there. But I don't know. I feel like the DC movies need to start over.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was good. It was real cookie cutter, but it was still good. I don't know about. I heard Shazam and Aquaman really good too.
I didn't. I saw Aquaman.
Mhm.
Aquaman was good. I didn't see Shazam. Not sure why. Just didn't.
Well, after all the other terrible movies, you're like, why would I chance it? I might see it later or rent it or buy it on DVD or something.
I never really read too much into Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know about the character. I know what his power is for the most part, but besides that, I didn't really watch it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because Shazam wasn't originally a DC character. He's part of Wizard Comics. He was made to compete with Superman, and he started outselling Superman back, in the golden era, because he was a kid who could transform into a superhero, and Who reads comics? People loved it. Kids loved it. But eventually, you know, they bought them out. They got Shazam, the rights to him. Because he was originally called Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
He was the first Captain Marvel. And then, you know, I think the name on it, the copyright on it lapsed, and then Marvel got a hold of it, and there was a big legal battle over it. And then they made their Captain Marvel, who was an alien, and he was named Marvel. Because the movie Captain Marvel wasn't the original Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of got a copy of his powers through an accident. Then she became Miss Marvel. But eventually, after that Marvel died, the original Captain Marvel dies from like cancer or something. Some years later, she picks up the mantle.
Mm.
Comic books, man, they're crazy.
Yeah.
They get really out there sometimes.
Time travel and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's how Marvel basically resets everything, is with time travel.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Just fuck some shit up like that. Time travel.
Yep. They do that in the comics. They do that in the movies. And DC basically has stuff like rewritten, like through like Dr. Manhattan did it in the newest versions. Like he just recreated the universe 12 years later or something like that. And that's kind of how they do it. They stay consistent with that at least. Yeah, man. Oh, we're at like a little over an hour. Doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, not really.
Time flies in here. All right. Let's wrap this up, I guess. See what the girls are up to. I don't know if they're here yet or not.
I don't think so.
No, they're probably just still thrift shopping.
Of course.
Looking at ridiculous stuff.
Oh man, look at these shoes.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
No, you don't need that shirt. No.
You're getting it anyway.
Yep.
Spring cleaning. So whatever you're not wearing, throw it out.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because I have like 100 different T-shirts.
I honestly need to do it myself. Like,
Mhm.
there's shirts in my drawer that I haven't wore in years, and I'm just like, I don't want to throw that out, but I haven't worn it in ages, so I might as well.
No, I rotate all my shirts. I make sure to do that. I'm like, if I'm getting them, I'm wearing them. I just have too many of them because I keep buying them. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. This looks cool.
There's certain shirts that I'm like, I'll throw that out eventually. I think I have like 2 shirts that I've legitimately never worn. They're just sitting in my dresser, and I'm just like, it was a Christmas gift.
I wear them today.
Like, mainly like shirts that like, no, I'm not gonna wear that. No.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple. I've had to throw them out because they were like free shirts from an event, or like from some place, and I'm like, I'm not gonna wear this billboard on my chest for your company.
I had
Something stupid like that.
Used to have a lot of shirts that had sayings on them.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of like grew out of that.
That was definitely a 90s thing. Early 2000s.
Still got a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I should probably get rid of those.
I mean, yeah, it's not too relevant anymore.
I actually had one that I liked. Like, I if I had it, I probably still would wear it.
Mm-hmm.
But that shit just disappeared. It's like, this is my party shirt, written upside down.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I have no clue where it went. Just
Probably find it on Amazon,
vanished.
or just make your own. Have it
Could.
custom made. A lot of shops do that nowadays.
I've made my own
Mm-hmm.
shirts. I mean, they don't look the greatest, but
It's still cool. You made it
Mhm.
yourself. Why not?
I did it with hoodie.
Mm-hmm. You do like an acrylic paint and press it on, or?
Well, what I would do is I'd take stencils, spray paint it on, but you gotta do it with is it glossy? So I had like flat paint I did with it, and well, for the majority of it, and then one part I decided to do it with glossy. That part stayed, and then the rest of it just like wore off.
Wonder because the glossy maybe has like an extra coating.
Probably.
But it could have put a clear coat over it or something, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like I didn't even think about doing it. I just was like, I got this glossy.
Yeah, good enough.
I mean, it's like I still have the hoodie, but it's starting to wear off now because it's old. But
yeah, you could always touch it up, something like that. But all right, let's wrap this up. It starts getting over an hour. It's annoying to edit. All right, that's number 5 with Jeremy here. Like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.